Hi, I'm Kendra with Where's the Moon Astrology, and today I am talking about the Sun conjunct the Moon in the birth chart, or alternatively, born under a new moon, because Sun conjunct Moon is the moon phase that is the new moon. So when Sun conjuncts Moon by transit, that's when we experience a new moon, and when it's in your birth chart, that means you're born under a full moon, a new moon. Said that wrong. Anyway, so the Sun conjunct the Moon. In order to figure out how this would play out in your personality, you need to look at the energy of the sun and the energy of the moon. So with the sun is your conscious will. That's your ego. That's where you're consciously directing your attention, where you're consciously directing your energy. It speaks to the traits that you want to display, the traits that are loud and proud in your personality, pretty noticeable, and the traits that you're proud of. The moon, however, this is your instinctual emotional nature. So this is going to be your knee-jerk emotional reactions. It's going to be the part of you that people don't really know until they get to know you, because this is your heart. So it's with the sun conjunct the moon, it's an interesting dynamic because your ego and your emotional nature are in total compatibility with one another. They're working together flawlessly. They're generally in the same sign. Out of sign conjunctions might be a little different than the interpretation I'm about to give, but Sun conjunct Moon in the same sign, that just means that they're expressing together. They're expressing the same traits. So this would mean that you are someone who is a little more consciously emotional. Your conscious attention is directed and filtered through your emotional nature. So you would probably be someone who's a little more, you have your emotions a little bit more on display than other people because the sun is what you're displaying. So with the moon conjunct the sun, this would mean that you're displaying your emotional nature a little more than other people because your ego is kind of wrapped up in your emotional nature. So when you're expressing your sun sign, you're also expressing your moon sign, and you kind of have this emotional filter to your personality. So generally this is good because this means that you're pretty in touch with your emotions and they're kind of hard to deny. In your personality, you'd probably be a little bit more comfortable than a lot of other people telling people how you really feel and displaying your emotions, which can be good, but it can also make for a pretty moody personality and someone who is kind of caught up in their pride as far as their emotions go. Like a hit to your pride, because the sun is the ego, it's your pride and everything. So a hit to your pride can really feel emotionally devastating. You can be very, very sensitive as far as your ego goes, and it can be really difficult for you to hear criticism. You can be very kind of moody as well. Also, that with really tight conjunctions, now it would be a little easier if you were if the conjunction is like 5 degrees or more, maybe even maybe 3 to 5 degrees or more. This might not be so difficult for you, but with really tight conjunctions to the sun, it's called a combustion, and that can mean that the sun is kind of burning the traits of the sign or the planet that it is conjunct. So it'd be kind of burning the traits of the moon, which can mean emotional agitation. It can mean emotional difficulties, constantly feeling slighted or really just sensitive. It's kind of over exaggerating and emphasizing, irritating the traits of the moon. So your emotions might be kind of a point of difficulty for you and something that is a little hard for you to overcome. But that's really only if it's a really tight conjunction. If it's a little wider, that might be a little bit easier for you. Now, you were also born under a new moon with Sun conjunct Moon. So being born under a new moon, um, in order to see how that would express in your personality, we have to think about what the new moon represents. The new moon indicates emotional new beginnings, or new beginnings in general. So the new moon by transit, this happens once a month. The new moon by transit is going to show a time of new beginnings and focused attention in one area of your life. So people who are born under a new moon can be people who are very focused in one area of their life. So it's really important to see where this conjunction is happening and what sign it's happening in. You'd be very focused in this area. and you would be pretty goal-oriented and ambitious because all of your attention, conscious and unconscious, is kind of being pointed in one direction. You can very much have a one-track mind, a lot of energy pointed in this one direction, and you can be very, very ambitious and kind of have a clear path for where you're going, goals that you are kind of working towards at all times. And again, if this is a really tight conjunction, that can be a little burned. So it might be a little more difficult for you to focus on those goals. It might be a little more difficult for you to find a conscious way to embody those goals and to bring them to fruition. But generally, Sun conjunct Moon people, this is a nice phase to be born under because you are very ambitious and you have a lot of focused energy towards your goals, whatever those goals happen to be. And that would be largely indicated by where this conjunction is happening in your chart. So that is the Sun conjunct Moon video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. And I did want to remind you guys that I do offer readings, and I offer readings that are specific to a certain planet in your chart, which would mean that it's very in-depth, talking about this one placement in your chart: Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, etc. Also Saturn and Chiron. And I think I'm going to switch over the format. I've been doing these, as written readings, but I think that I'm going to start offering them as video readings exclusively. So if you order a planetary report, you will be receiving a video of me going over this placement for you in depth. So anyway, I just really hope you enjoyed this video and have a great day.